Yeah.
That's something you have to work. We will do that we'll save that for another video.
Yeah. We'll dive in deeper.
We'll dive in deeper for you. Hey fam, Sarah here. Welcome back to our channel. As you can see, I'm with my girls. I'm with 3 of them, at least the 3 that we need for this video, because it's been a long time coming since making it. You guys have been asking for us to do like a video sitting down with the girls and kind of sharing their experience with transitioning from like homeschool to public school. If you guys are unfamiliar, I'm a homeschooling mom of 5, and I homeschooled all 3 of these girls all the way up until high school. Kayla went in grade 10, and these 2 went in grade 9 because she paved the way.
That's it. Yeah.
So she's got to go somewhere. As you can see, she's in nursing school and she's in her scrubs, but she's got to go. She's busy, always on the go. So I'm like robbing her for like 2 seconds, hence why this video took so long to make. It's really hard getting these kids together, all together at the same time to film this video.
I don't know anyone's schedules anymore. I live in the same house as everybody, and I'm like, where are you going? What are you having? Like, oh, this is scheduled.
And
like,
you're the one that's always leaving most of the time. I'm gonna jump in really quickly and then just kind of talk about our transition from homeschool to high school. For me, it wasn't necessarily like the end game. I still didn't know if that was gonna be the plan, but when the time came and we decided that it was gonna be a thing, being that you were the first one to go, how did you feel? Did you feel
It wasn't like High School Musical, unfortunately. You know, you see in the movies, you're like, wow, public school looks so cool. And I don't know, it was pretty average. You just went, you did, that's what I did. I went and I did school. I didn't stay for longer than I needed to. I did my time.
But how did you feel about when you learned you had to go? You didn't feel any type of way transitioning?
No, transitioning was fine. Yeah, honestly, it was more like waking up. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get up in the mornings early. No, I'm kidding.
And so if you guys can hear background noise, we do have a toddler and it's just really hard to get him to be completely quiet. So welcome to large family life. You know what? I think back in the day, people always wondered about homeschoolers like transitioning or as if like homeschoolers live under a rock.
No, yeah.
Nope.
I'll literally tell people I'm homeschooling, like, wow, you don't strike me as the type of person that was in homeschool. I'm like, but what does that mean? What am I supposed to be like?
and for us as a homeschool family, we were always engaged in a lot of things. From an early age, we were always out and about at different activities, different things. And then as you guys got older, they were in, I can't remember all the things. I mean, outside of like activities like ballet, jazz, tap, soccer, swimming. We did the homeschool group. And with that, and they also did, and then you guys also did Awana through church. You did youth groups. Like there was always something, always something. And then there's church, Sunday school. Like they have had many opportunities to interact and get around. Like you know,
if anything, I feel like that, like having a schedule like that growing up in homeschooling helped prepare me now for when it's like I have stuff every day. I'm like, okay, well I can handle it. I can do this. I'm used to it, you know? It's, if anything, prepped me for post-secondary.
She wasn't apprehensive to go. And then she went, and when she went, we just kind of created ground rules for ourselves before we went there, knowing just like some of the things that one would embark upon. Okay, so we also wanted to point out that for Michaela, when you went, you ended up only being there for, was it 2 years? Because she went in around COVID and they ended up having to do courses online. Was it for like a whole year?
Yeah, for basically a whole year was online.
So she got to experience high school from a different perspective. When growing up, we never had to do like, you know, high school through the computer. But I mean, I also did a whole degree through it after, so I kind of had that experience. But
it was reminiscent of almost when we would do like certain aspects of homeschooling through online, like Khan Academy and stuff like that.
Exactly. Throughout our homeschooling journey, we utilized different formats of homeschooling. We did it paper-based. A lot of our work was mostly paper-based, but then as you guys got older, we incorporated more stuff online. At different points, we also did all-in-one homeschooling and things like that, right? So as for me, at one point, if it was scary for me, like letting go in terms of like, you know, sending you off, and I was apprehensive at first because you just don't want like high school to undo what you put into your kids from home.
Yeah.
But I think after, you know, at some point I had to come to terms with it. A lot of praying and a lot of just kind of it's like letting go too, right? Having to let go. And
thinking that you've prepared like enough, prepared us enough for what we're getting into.
Yeah, and then as you went, it became easier and easier because a big part of it for us was communication. We communicate a lot. Yes, that's one of our things around here with my kids. We communicate a lot, so it's always like touching base and always understanding what's going on, and them being open and me being open, and it's like a two-way street. We both have to also be, you know, respectful to each other and trying to understand where each other's coming from. It's not always easy. We will butt heads at times, for sure. So a nice tip for that is like, if you have to send your kids for any reason, whatever the reason is, just keep communication open and constantly communicate with them as they're there throughout their years at public school. So a quick question for you guys. I try to ask you guys the type of questions that you want the girls to answer, but I got a few feedback from some of you guys, and honestly it's been a while because I don't even know where all the questions are. I'm trying my best to kind of put together some questions for you. One of the questions that I think everyone would want to know is, did it take you guys time to adjust? Now that all of you guys have all been, now we can kind of talk about that, like how you've been quiet over there.
Yeah.
Did it take you time to adjust?
Yeah, I didn't like grade 9. Grade 9 was garbage.
Come on, just speak.
Best year.
That was not my best year. I did not like grade 9.
But we should make sure we preface this with the fact that you were apprehensive to go in general.
Yeah, I didn't
so
want to
you're the more, how would we describe her? Yeah, she's the more exactly the apprehensive one, the reserved one.
I think about a lot of things.
Yeah, and so
we don't think about a lot of things. We try to not think a lot.
Our brains are just sitting there. Yeah.
Uncooked eggs.
So did you enjoy homeschooling?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, so you enjoyed homeschooling, but then when it was time for you to go to high school, you were apprehensive because you didn't want to.
I didn't want to go.
She just didn't want to go,
care.
and it's because of like just I guess what she sees on TV, maybe the judginess of characters, how school's gonna be. Just like Vic said, it's not like High School Musical. So Gabrielle was thinking it's straight up like High School Musical.
That's it. Yeah. No, yeah, she had the same idea.
She's thinking it's straight up like everything she's ever seen or heard about, and you know.
Yeah, it was like two different ends of the spectrum. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna be that friendly, and Gabrielle was like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna be that friendly.
Yeah, or mean,
or that,
or
mean. Yeah, or that.
In terms of adjusting to grade 9, how did you find that? Did you find it challenging?
Yeah, I found it really hard.
Yeah, what did you find challenging the most?
I guess like just the idea of deadlines like that. Like I wasn't used to deadlines like that at home.
Yeah.
Like I could be slow and I could still.
And you could get away.
At high school I had to like sort of move faster, and I wasn't used to that at all. So.
It's not even. No, the thing is too. It's not. Yeah, it's not even saying you weren't used to it because everyone else was doing their work in a timely manner. You just I've been talking to her about this since like grade 3. Right? Do you remember that? Constantly, always. She's like a perfectionist. She wants she wants her writing to be like a computer. Yeah. So that type of stuff, I've been on her all the way. You remember me back in grade 3 telling you like, you don't need to erase this. We have to move on because this is the stuff that's gonna plague you later on in high school. I said this all the time, and then when she got to high school, I think the same thing would happen. Even if you were doing high school at home here, you'd have to meet deadlines because you have to submit things in a timely manner.
I did do it at home. I was online for grade 9.
Yeah, but that's still through the school. That's still through the public school. But I'm speaking as if you were to do it through homeschooling, it would be the same kind of thing. You'd have to meet deadlines. It's when you're in elementary, the deadlines are so different, and you can do your work throughout like over a certain period of time. However, these two were like Speedy Gonzalez. They were just like, they were committed. Gabrielle's more committed to the work in terms of thinking like, I want to be a robot.
Yeah, I remember going into grade, I didn't go for grade 9, but Charlotte makes grade 9 sound even better than grade 10, because when I went into grade 10, it would be like, we'd have like one assignment due a week that we'd be like working on. We'd work on it partially in class, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I can get this done. I'd be like, I've already submitted that, and I had so much more free time in grade 10.
You did.
I was not doing anything half the time, and I was getting good grades. I wasn't not getting good grades in grade 10 either.
Exactly. Which brings us to the next point, right? Before that transition, I just want to wrap it up with you. So you went and you found the deadlines a challenge, and that's something that you've actively been working on and understanding. Even today, you still deal with that kind of stuff because it's not to, like, she's getting amazing marks.
Not 90, straight 90 student.
Yeah. No, but literally, in general, they've all been honor roll students in general, which is crazy.
Gabriel's adjusted really well, like overall, to several your deadlines.
Yeah. So in terms of like her finding her deadlines to be challenging, like she's doing amazing work. It's just the deadline is more of her thing, being a perfectionist, wanting to get everything perfect, she will be the one that comes home and studies for X amount of hours
Gabrielle.
And her mom, I will have conversations with her saying, oh my gosh, you need to find time for yourself. You need to
do something else. Yeah. Why are you sitting? No,
you know how it's like, go do your homework? No, it's like, stop doing your homework.
I don't think I've ever said that phrase like that.
I remember,
it's just like,
I remember when I was in grade 10, you'd be like, hey, did you do any of your questions? And I'd be like, yeah, I did like 3.
This is a rebel.
Like
she was the rebel.
I'd be like, it's time to study. I would sit down, look at like the 6 questions that my teacher had assigned, and be like, I'm gonna do this one, like one format of each question.
Yes, that is so
as long as I can figure this out.
Like I'm like somewhere in between though, cause like I'll do the work, but I'll do it all at school.
Yes,
I don't bring any back home.
Yeah, she don't bring her homework back home.
That's the beauty of being a parent and watching you guys. You guys are similar and so unique and so different at the same time.
Yeah.
Michaela was the one who did the least amount of work, the least, and then she still graduated with high 80s, basically 90. How does that happen? I don't understand.
I don't know either. It was a blur.
Then you got Charlotte over here who's on, or I should jump to Gabrielle first. Then you got Gabrielle over here on the other extreme who is like beyond dedicated, beyond committed, beyond, she's like an overachiever. And it's understood because
student.
It's understood because your grades are exactly a reflection of that. You work hard to get those.
I feel like work is life.
You work hard to get those grades, but at the same token, you put a lot of pressure on your own self. So that's something you have to work. We will do that we'll save that for another video.
We'll dive in deeper.
We'll dive in deeper for you. but that's on that, she's on the other end. And then there's Charlotte, that's like the perfect in between. I'm like, she doesn't do any work at home, barely, and she still gets the grades that Gabrielle's getting. Yeah. But she does do the work. The thing is, it's deceptive because we'll think she's not doing the work, but she's really
just doing it.
I can't remember the last time I saw Charlotte.
She did work last night.
I did do work last night.
I was joking. I was so weird because I came in and I was like, I was like, textbook stream, but I was like, Gabrielle's not studying over here.
But Charlotte will be the one getting her work done at school and just chilling at home, reading books. Check out our book channel, by the way.
That's it.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, that's it.
Link in the bio. So I just want to know, from your guys' perspective, did anyone experience guilt, like their mama just kind of took them and dropped them off the cliff when she sent them off to public school?
No.
Okay, good.
Can I say my reason?
That's not a real question. I just thought I'd ask. Because
can I say a specific reason that relates to this though? Like in relation to this, I did not feel any type of way about that because it's kind of inevitable for like homeschool kids to go to school at some point. Like it's better that you sent us at like a certain point, like at high school.
Oh yeah.
Rather than like even rather than elementary, but where else were we gonna go at like post-secondary?
Some people really do. Some people do that.
But there's also like that test.
But I wanted, which you guys would have still done fine with.
Yeah, we would have done.
Whenever in the midst of homeschooling, I always said I want to do it the best of my abilities for my kids. Whatever I'm doing, I want to do it so to make things easier for them. So for me, it didn't exactly sit well with me either, in thinking that if you had not gone to high school, it's like setting you up in the end for this test, and it's not like you couldn't pass it, because I know you guys were doing great work. You guys going to high school, you adjusted so easily, and you guys are all honor roll students and got amazing grades, so it's not like that couldn't be, but I didn't want that for you. I also wanted you guys to be well adjusted by the time post-secondary school comes about. And I remember but it was a challenge. I'm sitting here talking about it right now, but it was like an emotional challenge for a mom to kind of let go. I remember talking to my dad, and my dad was like, yeah, it's important for them. So shout out to Grandpa, who kind of chimed in.
Love you, Grandpa.
Your grandpa,
who was like, yeah, it's important. And he reiterated that, what I think I already knew and what I was already leaning towards, but he always has like sound advice throughout, and it's like a constant reminder. So that was really good for you guys to adjust. But in terms of like making positive choices and stuff, that wasn't really a challenge for you guys, I don't personally think.
Yeah.
Or was it?
That was good.
Was it?
I mean,
you didn't do anything.
No, I didn't do anything. Yeah. I mean, friend groups, I feel like always have their own like specific people in it, where it's like they'll have wild cards, they'll have people who do all kinds of stuff, but it's just as long as you understand what your boundaries are, and like just you can be friends with people all you want, as long as you don't become them, essentially. As long as you don't.
And then yes, that's true. Like, and that's the thing, I've always taught them to be kind to people and be loving towards people, but at the same token, I always say be mindful of who you keep as friends. That's very important, because they, regardless of how strong we are, sometimes we can fall. We fall short and fall into traps because the people that we keep are gonna be an influence on us to some degree. So yeah, those things, and a reflection of exactly of you.
So you keep your company.
On a whole, I think everyone had a very positive experience, and overall, I think it went really well. I personally enjoyed it for grade 9 to not having, or high school, not having to do all the marking. The marking is a lot, especially when it comes into those grades. Those aren't grades to be played with either, because while there's a lot more flexibility in elementary school, there's not a lot of flexibility in high school when your children are preparing for their careers and their future careers and stuff like that. So that,
and there's also just like a lot of like a workload on you, I mean, it is just, even the three of us, but you were working around still raising us, still keeping a household, and then it's like marking. That was literally like your evening.
Marking, and it obviously in my head I was thinking it would get easier, like, even if I were to continue with the marking, just because I wasn't doing my studies like I did throughout the years of raising you guys. I did a 4-year degree while raising them and homeschooling them, but I did it over a period of time. Do we really want to mention the number of years? Because it's not good. I had semesters where I just took a break. I had babies in between there. I had tubal reversals in between there. I had different things.
A lot happened.
A lot
you were
happened.
never without progress, though.
And right?
That's all that matters.
We bought houses in that time frame. Like, so many different things. Like, and moving. Yeah. I just wanted to hear a little bit more from Charlotte, because we didn't get to hear a lot from her and her perspective of like what it was like transitioning into public school from homeschooling.
Yeah, well, I already knew I was gonna go from after like Michaela went and Gabrielle went, so I was like preparing myself.
Inevitable. Bye. You just like shoved her out the door on the first day of school.
I remember preparing over the summer. I'm like, wow, after this, like, I'm going into high school. And I'm just like, what is this gonna be like? And I was excited. I was also like, there's always gonna be like that, maybe like slight nervous feeling, but it was like a nervous excitement, kind of, right? Because like Gabrielle said, it was gonna be interesting to have like different expectations, I think, too. Yeah. Because homeschooling did allow more freedom. Like, you have catch-up days, or double up, you can, right?
But you still have those in school. I think, let's be real. I think school gives so many.
School does.
School gives so many of those, it's unreal. Because we did have that on, like at homeschooling, where on Fridays we're like, okay, it would be our day to catch up. But honestly, I feel like with homeschooling, with high school, you guys have so many of those. Your teachers give you more leeway than homeschooling.
Honestly, yeah, like, I guess depending on the grade, I don't feel any
depending
grade 12.
An example of what Gabrielle's talking about would be like, for your English, your teacher would say, oh, okay, jot down small notes for your assignment, and you will then make it bigger for yourself by saying, oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna read, and then I'm gonna make big summaries, and then I'm gonna take small notes from those summaries that's creating yourself, you're creating more work, thus stressing yourself further. You give yourself a lot more work than necessary, and you also take a lot longer to do it. And that's just your personality type. But that also means that you kind of have to weigh it, and you have to like bear the consequences of what you choose to do when the time comes. So the consequence might mean you don't get any time for yourself because you're doing something extra long, or you're taking so long to do it. And that's a choice, right? Or you saying, like, in class, you come home and you go over everything the teacher said in class before you continue with certain things. Most people don't do that.
Yeah, like, if I don't understand, I'm gonna have to review.
So, like, for her, she also will come home and do extra reviews. Like, she'll review what's learned in class. And while people do that, I think you also do it to an extent for your own personal self. You just have to, it's a confidence thing, I feel, and one has to have more confidence, you know what I mean? Confidence in yourself that you actually know how to do it. Because for someone who is a straight A student who gets like stellar grades, you give yourself so little credit. You act like your brain doesn't work sometimes. You'll be like, oh, I need to do this, or I need to do this to remember. And it's like, you're gonna remember that. You know you will.
Yeah.
She knows she will.
We'll literally be walking home from school, and she'll be telling me about this whole other thing that she learned. I'm like, wait, Gabrielle, we just came from school. She's like, slow down for 1 second, and she's like telling me all the facts, like she's a textbook, and I'm like, girl.
Yeah, there's some people that are like that. That are very like, she's very academic oriented and just like lives it, you know? You're academic oriented, but you're like, okay, but there's a time, there's a threshold. I want to turn off.
Yeah, it's not like I keep schooling at school, but like, I don't want my life to be just full of school, right?
Yeah, like, I understand.
Like, yeah, I want to finish my homework at school so that I don't have to carry some back, and I can have my own free time.
Well, that's the thing, because life's all about a balance. So you have to have, even in school, you have to have balance, and without it, it's hard. Time management is one of those things that I really feel like one has to put in a lot of effort towards when they're, you know, raising kids and just trying to teach them, because you can see it can plague them later on in life, and it can also just cause excess stress. Because if you are stressed out continually about just work, and that's all you live and breathe and think about, it's just going to be like an endless cycle. You can't get out of it, because you're busy doing work the whole time, and then you're going to sleep stressed out because you had so much work, and then you wake up feeling stressed out because you have work again the next day. And it's a lot of it. Not to say the cycle of life doesn't repeat in you know, with everyday life, but we have to create space and boundaries and balance so we have time to reset.
Exactly.
And that's where your challenges come in, and that's why your experience is so different.
Yeah.
So overall, did you enjoy homeschooling?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying high school?
Yeah, I like high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, guys, if you guys have any more questions, because the camera just died, if you have any more questions for us, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, leave your questions down below. Let us know what you guys thought of this video. Anyways, guys, the camera just died, so I'm just wrapping up this last portion on the phone. But thank you so much for tuning in to our video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have any more further questions, don't hesitate to ask, and leave your comments down below. Let us know that you enjoyed this video. Even if you don't have a comment, leave a heart, because commenting and liking the video is really helpful on our channel, and it helps to let YouTube know that the Zebra Tribe Fam channel still exists, and, you know, help people find it. So
Exactly.
So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.